LA Knight had a mystery opponent for the John Cena tour. So he can, go up to face John Cena. We didn't know who his opponent was going to be. And LA Knight was just standing there. But as soon as it popped up on the screen, I recognized it. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. Yes, Zack Ryder is back. He came back to WWE. Man, it's been a while, right? It's been a while. Zack Ryder, he did a lot of his, like famous moves and stuff, like the kick in the corner and the Rough Rider. He did a few of his signature moves, but ultimately in the end, Zack Ryder was not able to win, surprisingly enough. It winded up being LA Knight getting the 1-2-3 on Zack Ryder with a BFT. Maybe it could have been cool to see John Cena go up against Zack Ryder because, they are not strangers. Remember that feud with Kane? They are not strangers. But is LA Knight going to even make it to the end? I don't know. Oh, by the way, Solo Sikoa has an opponent coming up on Raw, another mystery opponent. Is this going to be another return? Because Adam Pearce said, let's all find out together next week who it is. He was announcing people and their opponents. And, man, we're going to see if it's somebody big. Maybe it's another return. Maybe. I don't know. Also, Jey Uso won an advancement match against The Miz, which is surprising. Again, an advancement to go up against John Cena. The Miz and John Cena are not strangers. So that would have been interesting. Jey Uso and John Cena aren't strangers either, though. But it would have been interesting. But Jey Uso winded up winning. But it's surprising, I say, because like Jey Uso is supposed to be focused on War Games. Like why does he need to win an advancement match to possibly go up against John Cena? I mean, he's maybe got to lose the next one, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's going to be a part of Jey Uso's mental breakdown. Maybe it's a part of the storyline. Like Jay's not 100% mentally when going into the War Games. They could do this thing up good, but we will see. Moving on, peeps. Cody Rhodes was going up against Bronson Reed in a match that came about just earlier in the night when Bronson Reed and Cody had a little bit of argument and beef backstage. And Nick Aldis made it official for the WWE title, but you'll see once I get into it. But of course, Cody retained his title. Of course, you guys know that. The match was really nothing in particular. It's what happened afterwards that was a little bit more, or what happened in the middle of the match that was a little bit more important, because the match overall pretty much turned out to be baloney. It was all just, to get to the ending that I'm going to talk about in a second. But anyway, the match spilled to the outside, and Bronson Reed was getting ready to charge at Cody Rhodes into the barricade, but Cody instead tossed Bronson Reed over the barricade. And as soon as Cody started taking apart the announce table, Logan Paul and Braun Breaker, we had to expect this, right? Logan Paul and Braun Breaker started attacking Cody Rhodes. From there, Jay and Jimmy came out there, which Jimmy earlier in the night announced that he was the fourth member of CM Punk's War Game team. He came out there, and then it was an even fight for a second, 2-on-2, going up against Braun Breaker and Logan Paul. They were able to hit a one and done on Logan Paul, and then they set up a wooden table and they put Logan Paul on the table and were getting ready to go for the double frog splash. But then Drew McIntyre showed up and saved Logan Paul by taking him off of the table. So it's clear that Drew McIntyre is, in fact, the Vision's fourth War Games member. Nick Aldis came out there then after that and raged and started fussing at Paul Heyman. And he was talking about how Drew McIntyre is suspended. He was like, he can't possibly be your fourth War Games member because he's suspended. You can't pick him. And Paul Heyman was holding the contract. He said, well, the contract says that I can pick anybody. And he just kept saying that. He is allowed to pick anybody under WWE contract. And Nick Aldis kept fussing at him. And Paul Heyman was like, anybody. It says anybody. 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 I'm telling you, he said it at least 8, 9, 10 times. which was actually kind of funny. I'd recommend going back and watching that clip. Meanwhile, stuff still going on in the ring. Braun Breaker spearing Jey Uso through the table. Logan Paul knocking out Jimmy with a knockout punch. Then Cody came back in there to try to save the day, but Cody's only one person, man. He can only do so much. Gets hit with a Claymore kick seconds later, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's official, man. So they've got Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, which by the way, Cody winded up also getting hit with a tsunami as well. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul. They need a fifth member. I'll talk about who I think it could be in a minute. CM Punk has Cody Rhodes, Jimmy, and Jey Uso. So they both need one more member each. I am thinking that for the Visions team, they might get Brock Lesnar. Because remember a joke they made a few months ago that Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar and how he was his ring announcer at WrestlePalooza. It was like maybe, maybe that's not the last time that Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar are going to be doing business. I think now is probably the best time to do that. Now for CM Punk's side, I was gonna say Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn has wrapped himself up in a standard 5-on-5 match against Solo and his group. So Sami Zayn's kind of out. And, the fans at the end of the show were chanting OTC, OTC, but OTC really? I mean, think about it. That's going to cause too much drama. Like Cody Rhodes and the rest of them have built such a strong bond, but Cody Rhodes is currently holding Roman Reigns' championship. They have not made contact since. That's going to be a problem. Not to mention CM Punk's also on that team, somebody else that Roman Reigns does not like. So I don't think that's a good idea. Plus, they did Roman Reigns and CM Punk last year, like halfway disagreeing during the War Games match. So, like, do we really want to see that again this year? Like, come on, let's do something different. I thought about John Cena, but I'm like, really, would that make sense for John Cena to be their fifth member? Possibly. I don't know. I thought about Randy Orton too. Then again, I don't know. It could be anybody unless it's like an old school return, like somebody big, like a Stone Cold Steve Austin or something. Like maybe, who knows? I don't know. Maybe they might go, the extreme return route. But they need somebody. They need somebody big. They really do. I can see Jacob Fatu being in the cards. Um, that's what the mom says. I could see that, but Jacob Fatu's supposed to be injured unless that'll be his ultimate return. I also thought about possibly Bobby Lashley making a return and being the fifth member as well. Maybe. But honestly, I'm not worried about, like whoever gets who on each team, I'm not too worried about it because part of me is thinking that there's not going to be a winner. I have a funny feeling Seth Rollins is going to return and like just pretty much just hit stomps and pedigrees on everybody and injure everybody and nobody's going to be able to continue. Like I feel like that's a possibility and the show just fades to black without a winner. I have a feeling that that's a possible scenario for this. I'll say I'm really not too worried about CM Punk's team because I don't think either team is going to win. I think it's going to be an interference by Seth Rollins probably. It would be like probably like the perfect time for him to return. I just have a funny feeling. It's possible. Sami Zayn probably was the best option, but again, Sami Zayn's so tied down with Solo, I just don't see it. Unless that's when we find out. Maybe Sammy and Solo, they do their 5-on-5 standard match, and then after that there's like a disqualification or something as to why it's not a real winner, and then Sammy joins their War Games team, Solo joins the Vision's War Games team, and then there it is. Possibly. I don't know. Other than that, I don't have any options. Well, that's it for this video, peeps. Anybody! Anybody! I'm just kidding. Peace out, peeps.